farts. Okay, that's a blooper. You're sideways.
Hi from the crowd.
Clapping. Woo! Drum roll. Jess wants Disney Princess print. Yeah, Nodally. Sorry, Natalie.
Hey, so how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jani?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
You too. I don't know. We've been on before, haven't we?
Not together,
Not
no.
together. No, that's right. So yeah, this is exciting. I get to be on with you.
Yeah, good to be on with you too.
And we are on episode 21.
21.
Oh,
wow.
That's
crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
Some really fun challenges going on in the group.
We sure do. And we've had some very exciting things happening too.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Last week, we had Bryce Sparvinsky. We had him on the chit chat last week. And wow, to get not only, Fern to come on comment on his artwork on the Instagram, but then Bailey did.
How exciting for him.
So exciting. So exciting.
Yes.
And the crazy thing too is, so when I was editing the video and I hadn't quite put it together, that's why I kind of cut it in there and I was like, we have got to put it in this week. This can't wait.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got to announce it in this week's.
So exciting for him. But he is so talented.
Yes.
He's really good. Really good.
All the cartoons that he does and being able to kind of adapt it to Bailey's look or personality, or what she talks about. Did you see one of his that was your favorite?
I think I like the one with all three of them, with her and Fernando and Saint. I like that one.
The one in the car or the one that they're in a room?
I like the one in the car.
Yeah, that's the one that he said on the chat that was his favorite one.
Did you like it?
Gosh.
I know it's hard to pick, isn't it?
It is hard to pick. And I think I had two. So because I love Family Guy, I think that was probably one of my favorite ones because he threw Peter in there and you're like, it's obvious what just happened. SpongeBob, the SpongeBob one, where she had the bottle, Aqua Tofana, and then SpongeBob was laying down, and then Patrick, you could see he had the X's in his eyes and the greens.
Aqua Tofana.
I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, so
yeah,
the Scooby-Doo one was pretty cool. South Park, yes.
Oh my God! They killed Kenny.
They're really good.
Well, we also have a special guest. We're going to kind of talk to her a little bit and get her perspective on the group, on Bailey, on kind of the whole thing and what we do. And it's really interesting to just kind of see somebody new coming into the group. What do you think? What do you think when you first join? Is there anything going on you want to touch on the rules before we talk to her?
And the only thing is we still have a lot of rude comments that just don't need to be there. You know, need to be there. But
and it feels like we're kind of on this repetitive cycle where it's, be nice, be supportive. This is a supportive group. If you don't have anything nice to say, you can scroll by or you can choose to put a nasty message in and, be muted.
Exactly.
First time you're muted and the second time you're out. Sorry.
Why? There's no reason. So.
Absolutely. Do seem to be bringing in some new people. I've noticed too a lot of first time posters.
There is. A lot of talented, really.
Yes. And not just the traditional makeup, but the like full face character makeup, and it's amazing.
It is really amazing. Mm-hmm.
I have a hard
Yeah.
enough time putting my regular face on in the day. I don't think I could do that. Yeah. But we got some amazing people coming into the group. That's what we're here for. We're a fan club. We love all things murder, mystery, makeup, and Bailey. Are you ready? We'll go ahead and let our guest in.
Sure, yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's a hashtag Bailey newbie. Welcome, Jess.
Thank you for having me.
So
I'm excited to finally be a part of the group.
yes, welcome. So I talked a little bit about kind of what we're trying, and basically it's going to be what we're calling a hashtag Bailey newbie, and something that we may try doing for the chit chats. So tell us, how you found us.
Okay, so I found you guys through Miss Beautiful Cat. We worked together and she was like, oh my goodness, I watched this YouTube channel and I love her. Her name is Bailey Syrian. She just talks about murder, which I love. I watch it maybe not every day, but almost every day during lunches.
Right, lunchtime? Yeah.
Yes,
lunchtime,
gotta get your murder on.
Mhm.
And she knew it was going to spark my interest because she knows I love murder and makeup and basically everything besides Mondays. So it's like a positive, bright note to my Monday.
There you go.
Who were you watching before she turned you on to Bailey?
So I never really watched them on YouTube. I learned about Bailey through Cat. I would only watch all of my murder shows on Investigation Discovery, and that was always my go-to. So, and I don't have cable at home, so accessing it through YouTube makes it so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Was there something else that you watched before we all started this group?
Oh yeah, it was Cold Case Files, Forensic Files.
Yeah, Cold Case Files. Yeah.
Deadly Women.
On the ID channel, or Snap.
Yes. So I used to have this Snapped Sundays. Like, I don't know if it still plays all day on Sundays, but it would just be like, I would watch it all day on Sundays. That was my Sunday, was Snap Sundays. Now that you've kind of seen some Bailey, what do you think? Like, what was your impression? What do you think about it?
So at first, I've always been more of like a podcast type of a girl. And I've never really watched like YouTube channels, nothing like that. But obviously the murder and the makeup interested me.
Right.
And it is just her way of presenting the whole story.
Yeah.
So when she's talking about it, she'll throw in like little quips about funny little situations. And I can't remember any of them right now.
Of course.
But it's basically all just her presentation, and she makes funny little side comments. And then obviously the makeup is just like, so basically all around, she's just like a fun personality that it's addicting.
It is.
I guess is the best way to put it.
You see that somebody posted today, like, what do you watch when you've watched all of Bailey? You know what I commented?
Yeah.
Watch it again.
I do. I do. What do you like about the page, or what do you think of the page?
So I'm fairly new to the page. I do think it's really cool how everyone has their own little like merch section. Like, this is me. This is what represents me and my likes. I think that's pretty cool. Another thing, which is killing it, will be the challenges. And eventually I will participate, but I totally dug the makeup one, or not the makeup one, the mermaid one. So I was like, oh my gosh, you can just be beautiful and stunning, and you can just have, it's like that one time where shimmer everywhere is totally acceptable.
And it's okay.
And everyone digs it, and you can just go for like these big vibrant colors. So I think that is one of the coolest things that's being incorporated into the page, are the challenges, because everyone approaches everything from their own unique perspective, and they incorporate their style and their personalities into how they present all of their pictures.
Speaking of the mermaid challenge, Jani, we have a winner for that one, don't we?
Yes, we do. That is Stephanie Genevieve. Congratulations.
Yay! Congratulations, Stephanie. Awesome. Jess, you mentioned the challenges, but do you kind of know how they work?
Not really. No, I just know everyone's like, hey, here's my pictures of my killer makeup. And then I don't know anything else.
Okay.
So the way you enter the challenge, well, first of all, to see the challenges, they're always posted at the top of the page. It says announcements. You go there and you look for that. You'll see it always posted at the top of the page. You see the looks. You pick which one you do. You do your look. You take your picture. You post it on the page. You always put the hashtag. Like our one this week is hashtag Suspish Disney Fairies. So you pick the fairy you want, or you can do all the fairies, however you want to do it. And that's how you would post your look to be entered into the to the challenge. And you have to do all that in order to be entered. You must put the hashtag and you have to put your look. If you don't do that, then you won't be entered. So
how Lorraine does it. Lorraine's our moderator lead, and she's the one that does the random selection for all the challenges. So what happens is it goes into this little pool. And so it's not how well you do or how experienced you are in duplicating a look, whatever challenge it is. It just kind of goes into a pool. If you participate, you have a chance to win. So the more chances. I love that. Yes, exactly. Some of these prizes, like Jani's won. I've won some of these prizes. I mean, you get full palettes. Some of the things that you win, because I've got all my stuff here. So I've got a Becca palette. Look how, and this is the Barbie Ferreira Becca palette. And they're all like shimmering. So, I mean, this is even from last year. That's like different highlights and lowlights. I use it for eyeshadow. Let's see what else. Oh, this is probably one of my favorite ones. I got a NARS palette.
Ooh.
I mean, these are just like some of the amazing things that you win, plus stuff from our store. I mean, you mentioned the store earlier. Like, I've got my Coca-Cola earrings. I wore them to work today, so you saw those.
Yes, they're so cute.
And my famous, I've worn these to work too, Jani.
She has.
Oh, yeah.
I get weird looks, but I don't care. I'm like, are you wearing Mickey or something? Yes, I am.
I'm pretty sure I took a double look when you first wore them. And I was like, are those what I think those are?
Remember I was telling you about like the kitchen knives that I haven't worn them to work, and I don't think I am because they're so big, but look at.
Yeah. Probably getting away, but yeah.
They're so big, but they're gorgeous.
Oh
like, I think Charlene wore them once on a chat or maybe one of her pictures.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cool.
So cute.
And this is what funds all the prizes. So
yes,
you want to support the store because that supports the page.
Yes, that's a great point. So like the more people like kind of check out the store and invest in the store, the proceeds from that go back into the page and help fund the prizes for the challenges.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like nobody's making any money off of it.
No.
So it's right back into the group. We were looking today at work, Jani, we were looking at like the Disney villains for the next one. We were looking at makeup things.
Just unpleasant and rude. She's downright.
And I looked at I was like, yes, I think I might do the
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts.
Yeah,
the Disney villain.
Mm-hmm.
I would so do Mother Gothel, just because Rapunzel.
Yes. We do have a disclaimer on this. There will be some graphic information as well as adult dialogue. So with disclaimer, warning, here you go. Now that you are part of this group, you've watched the Bailey video, the Murder, Mystery, and Makeup Monday. What did you think?
That girl knew what she was doing.
Yes. And you know, okay, so coming from a family of wealth, I don't know what happened, and there's not much recorded. So this was like late 1800s, you know, early 1900s. So it's recording of like history and things that have happened might not have necessarily been the best. So we don't know exactly what happened in her upbringing to put her in this position of like, yeah, you know what? It's okay to kill people because I am a privileged person.
But it's okay to manipulate people too, because that's what she did. Tell me she was not the most, like the master manipulator for everyone.
Yes, Black Widow.
Yes.
Black Widow definition. Like the first
Everyone.
definition of Black Widow. This guy she marries was a traveling salesman.
Yes. Which is
And
perfect for her to be naughty.
yes. So they were married for, you know, a few years, 3-4 years, something like that. And then he comes home one day. Hi, honey, I'm home. Oh, what are you doing? You're being a naughty girl. And it broke his heart. And then what happened? You remember?
He killed himself.
Then, you know, he killed himself and she's like, well, shit. So she became a sex worker in Shreveport, Louisiana, you know, and then not just having sex for money. She was deciding she was going to, you know, steal a little bit too. And then moved to Boston and she changed her name. She was 31. And this is where she said that she was a 19-year-old. She was put in like a convent or something. And her family was so strict. And this is where she was adopted by a family.
Which was insane because she had mentioned how they were like, oh, put that on the Johnson's account. What? That's like a fancy layaway.
Right? No, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Stealing from that family, running up their credit. And then the family, once they found out about it, they were too embarrassed.
Right?
To be like, you know, press charges or anything about that because they didn't want to, they were like so worried about public opinion and what they would think about this family.
I would be like, super salty if I were them. I'd be like, listen, no one needs to trust this crazy lady.
Right?
Just so y'all know.
Yes. So they're like, you can leave. We're not going to press charges, but just go away. Shoo. Texas.
Wasn't it Waco?
Yes, Waco, Texas. That's right.
Like, how does this happen? Because she just so happened to come in contact with the affluent family in Boston.
Yeah.
And then she found the next affluent man in Waco. Was like, where are you going, girl?
And that was in like days.
I know, which is so insane.
And Bailey mentioned it in her video, and it's like, what is it with this girl? Like, what does she have that just people are like, whoosh, and you find them, and then not just you find them, but are like
they're attracted
by
to you.
Yeah, like what is it that she did? I don't know. So you saw some of the drawings and like the early pictures and stuff of her, right? And to be judgy, you're like,
okay,
yeah. Like, okay, like you fit that time frame, I guess.
I guess back then,
yeah,
basically, in essence, women were more reserved. So men who usually had reserved women saw this woman who wasn't maybe a little bit more forthcoming about things.
Yeah.
And that's how they were attracted to her because it was so limited. It was that scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
I don't have this, so I want this. And I was like, that's a very interesting way to look at it.
She moved and met a Harry in Dallas, the guy that worked in the hotel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. There's like $20,000 worth of jewelry that is stolen from this hotel out of a safe. And Harry's like, I don't know what happened to it. And he tells his wife and Louise, and she's like, oh no, what happened? Oh my.
That's insane.
Yes. So then because he was accused of it, he ended up killing himself. It's like men that come in contact with this woman, they're like, if I can't have you, I'll kill myself.
They just go full extra. And
Right.
like Bailey said, there is no internet. You can't Google people. And
Right.
clearly she went from Waco to Dallas and no one knew.
Nobody knew. Nobody
So
would
he
have
would
known
have been
about it.
fine had he
Yeah.
moved away.
Right? So then she goes to Denver. Of course, she gets to Denver and she meets a man, right? And Bailey goes, what does she have? Beer flavored nipples? Do you remember that?
I know. I'd about died.
I was like,
girl.
that is perfect.
Yes.
That is perfect. But that's where she got married again and had a daughter.
Oh,
Yeah. But then she ends up leaving them. Go to
super
California.
shady.
Yes.
And wound up with a man who had a daughter.
Right?
Like, girl,
Like you left.
go back home.
But he owns a 14-bedroom mansion and has all of this money. Okay.
That's convenient.
Right? Super shade. Super suspicious.
Totes.
So he goes missing. And then Louise is like, oh, he's on a business trip. It's okay. Daughter.
Those excuses were wild.
Yes.
Like his arm was amputated and then it became inconsistent and then
She moves in. Then they start hooking up. Yes. And then she's like, will you marry me? And he goes, no. I
gotta go out of town.
So she's like, no. What? You told me no? Nobody tells me no. So, I mean, I honestly, like, Bailey totally, like, animated that whole thing perfectly.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Nobody
When she was
tells me
talking about
no.
Yes. I was like, that's exactly what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Throughout her life, from what we know,
Yes.
it's always been good to go. It's always been yes, or I will bend over backwards for you. And then
She
she
got that
ran into a man with
good.
a backbone.
Yeah. And he's like, it's good, but
Hard
ain't
pass.
good. I gotta go.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
Yes. Smart man, but also not smart.
Yes. Somehow, some way, people are like, hey, where's Jacob? Where'd he go? We were looking for him. And she says, well, he's on his business trip that he was going to take. He's fine. Don't worry about it. Never mind the fact that I'm
Cashing all these checks. Because she was cashing them.
Yes.
And they're like, this signature is funky.
And they're like, oh, well, some Spanish woman came in and chopped off his arm.
His arm!
And I had to help him sign a signature with his left hand.
Yes! Who believes this? Who goes, oh, this is plausible.
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay. And again, that's when we took people at their word. The honor system. This is like that.
This is why she is why it doesn't exist anymore.
She is why it doesn't exist anymore. You're right. Oh my God. So then the daughter's like, okay, dad hasn't been around for a while. Look, chick, what's going on? What's going on? This seems kind of suspicious. It's like, maybe it's time to go. And then she goes back to Richard. She goes back to her family. And
I know.
Oh, I've missed you. I just want to be a family again.
I can't.
Or the daughter gets like super suspicious. So she starts looking around. She's like, my dad's got to be here somewhere. And he was in the basement.
Under the stairs.
Under the stairs.
Yes.
Poor girl. Like, I mean, God, how heartbreaking would that be that you find your father? Because he was a widow. Like, she had already lost her mother, right? And she was 15 and then comes to discover that her father is also gone.
And it's just her.
It's just poor thing. That poor thing. So then she goes to San Quentin, right? And she's works in the kitchen. She works in this as a seamstress. She writes in the prison newspaper.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
she's released after 18 years for good behavior. So she gets released, and there's this lady, because she's pleading her innocence the whole time. So this lady, Jessie, is like, I understand you. Please, you don't have any place to go. Come live with me. Come with me. 2 weeks, girl. Jessie ends up dead. We don't know what happened to her. And so Bailey is so funny. She's like, is this girl like aqua-tafaning people?
Yes,
Aqua-tafaning, making it an adjective. Yes. And then this girl, Emily, is like, oh, honey, what happened? Oh, I'm so sorry. Please come here. This girl,
Okay.
Emily, and Emily dies of a heart attack within a week or two. Then she moves in with this family. You remember Margaret and Arthur? So Margaret was basically, she's like, I need help. I need you to come, like, help me, come caretake for my husband, caretake for the house. She was like, you know what? Arthur had a fit and he beats up on Margaret.
Yes, she set the stage all before. So even before anything had happened, telling all the neighbors, oh, Art just is crazy. It just goes crazy on Margaret.
Yes.
And so when she got rid of because she got rid of Margaret first, if I remember correctly.
She got rid of Margaret first.
Yes. And then after the fact, didn't he either went into like a hospital or something?
Assisted living or something like that because of his disability. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
And so when everyone started questioning about Margaret, be like, oh, Art went into a fit.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what Bailey said about it. I was like, this woman
Basically
planned it.
Yes.
She
And
laid
eventually
all
when
the
it came
seeds.
when it came to it, in her defense, because she was eventually arrested for this, right? So when it came to it, she said that Arthur shot Margaret because Margaret was found, her body was found in the house, and she was found with a gunshot wound. And like basically Arthur, the back of the neck, and then I think like a broken neck or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Arthur went ballistic, but the thing is that she had planted the seed for it. And it was very creative. Mm-hmm. Very creative for that.
She knew what she was doing.
She did. She was 63 at this point. And when she went on trial for murder again, and she was born in 1880. So all of this time with all of these different experiences, starting out when she was a sex worker, stealing money, then, just finding these affluent men or affluent families to manipulate. Yeah. So she was basically, she was tried for murder again, and she was convicted. And all through the different appeals and everything that she went through, all the different appeals, they were like, nope, you've been sentenced to the death penalty. And this is when California still had the gas chamber.
But this woman, over the span of her life, I don't remember the body count, but she either killed someone or had someone, or somehow
she was affiliated with some point. I mean, even if there were a couple of men who killed themselves, right? The guy Joe that she met and was married to, the second marriage that she had, within 2 weeks, he was the one that had all the diamonds and everything, and he jumped off the building. He jumped off a building.
There's some sort of like mental manipulation going on there.
She must have beer flavored nipples.
Facts. Because that's how it happens. There's no other way.
He's got the tata of all the men in the world would love. I have no idea. Like, give me some of that.
At least good beer, not good beer.
He's like, I was waiting for him to come around the corner because I heard he's in the kitchen. Right?
Oh.
So eventually, April 11th, 1948, she said she was ready to go. She stopped fighting, and the woman was executed through the gas chamber.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah, wah. What a crazy story, though. Louise from Louisiana and all the ludicrous things that Louise did.
What happened in her childhood
Yes.
and in those coming years
Mm-hmm.
that created this mindset, desire, or what led her down
Yes.
this path? That
And you'll
is that question that I have.
And you'll see this a lot with Bailey in some of her videos, like as you go back and like kind of review
Yeah.
some of her older stuff, that she talks about that a lot. She talks about the fact that what happened in this person's childhood that caused them to be this way, right? There must be some sort of psychological impact, or, and then even in, you know, our fields that we do, it's like,
Yeah.
there's got to be something that happens to somebody where there's an impact, and you, I don't know, you, like, what normal human being would do this? Only Louise from Louisiana. That is ludicrous
Would.
as the mind of a Lucifer.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So Jess, it's been great having you here. I know I get to see your beautiful face almost every day. So welcome to the group, and welcome
Thank
to being a Suspish Bailey newbie. We love it.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me and inviting me into the group. I can't wait to participate in the challenges when I have the time. But I hope you wonderful ladies have a fabulous rest of your day.
You too. Nice meeting you.
Hi, it's so nice meeting you.